Get ready to innovate and organize your workspace with Metro. As the industry leader in storage and distribution systems, Metro is here to transform and organize your kitchen. With their premium solutions, you'll experience the Metro difference. Metro's sturdy and versatile shelving units, workstations, holding cabinets, and utility carts are designed to streamline operations and maximize your productivity. Don't settle for imitators. Metro products last longer and offer unparalleled quality and durability. Plus, the many customization options ensure that your space is tailored to your unique needs. Hey, we use them here at Walk and Talk. Say goodbye to chaos and hello to order with Metro Shelving. Visit their website or contact them today to start designing your perfect space. Metro Shelving, your partner in organization and efficiency. Hello, Food Fam. This is the Walk and Talk podcast, where you'll find the perfect blend of food, fun, and cooking knowledge. I'm your host, Carl Fiadini. Welcome to the #1 food podcast in the country. We are podcasting on site at Ibis Images Studios, where food photography comes alive and I get to eat it. First things first, last week, I ate very well. We had 3 chefs in studio. Thank you, chefs, Josh Bernstein, Stephen Hicks, and, of course, the Jefferson Starship, the chef, Jeffrey Schlissel. Y'all brought the goodies. And, man, speaking of goodies, the Porch Meadery and Market, so glad we linked up on that dinner collab. Y'all got to go back, listen, watch, keep an eye out. Thank you, Peninsula Food Service, for supplying the proteins for today's produzione. Chefs in the Central Florida area, Peninsula is the largest distributor of Creekstone Farms beef in the Southeast USA, complete with a fully staffed butcher shop to help solve your kitchen inconsistencies. Yeah, that's right, baby. Check out their dry age program, too. Okay, so our guest, plural, guests. Man, it's 2 weeks in a row. Bunch of chefs in this place. Tell you what, our guest this week, chefs Lance Cook and Jason F. Lynn. There was an ACF-sanctioned cooking competition this past weekend. These guys are culinary studs. Stay tuned. Chef Lance and Jason are on deck. Jeff, my man, the man. Oh, yeah. It's free shift time. You know what that means. Pop the clutch, my brother, and make it happen.
Oh, yeah, man. There's a special treat. So we had a meeting in Miami. We met this wonderful company called Rack Porcelain, and they do dishes, and they sent this beautiful dish, and John was like, hey, what are you going to do with this? Can you do dessert? And I was like, no, I was going to do a taco. So there was an extra added feature today. It was coffee cake. Mm-hmm. And it was, we're going to do a tiramisu riff on that one with some coffee toffee brittle. And then we're going to have a tiramisu mousse in the middle of that as well. And then we're going to pay homage to a school lunch. We're going to be doing a short rib kimchi mozzarella corn dog.
I never had that in school.
Neither did I, so I'm just kicking it up a notch. Okay. As I've been told, chefifying it.
Yes.
And then we're going to do some stuff for May 5th. It's Cinco de Mayo. We have a little lingua, so a little smoked tongue in the house. And then we have some mole chicken that we're going to do some stuff to as well. And I can't wait to get to these pictures too, because these are going to be really nice pictures.
Smoked tongue.
Smoked tongue.
I felt the collective audience just shut the episode off. But you know what? I'm going to try it. John, I think, is going to give it a shot too. No.
Jason's going to.
Of course, Jason is. Yeah. Now, listen, I'm down for whatever. So we're gonna make that happen. What else you got?
We just have, the chicken is going to be different, 2 different ones. We're going to do a hoagie one, and then we're going to do a entree with the mole chicken.
And the corn dog mix, that's from Flossie's.
Yep.
What's up, Alex? Yeah, from Flossie's, finally.
Yep. So I wanted to do something and was waiting for that prime time. And this was definitely the one where it was like, we're the national day. It's the National School Hero Day. So I was like, oh, let me just do something like would be school-ish.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, like I said, chefize it. So the short rib is split in half, and then I did it that way and froze it.
Well, I'm going to grade you just as in same as school, right? We'll see if you get
okay. I thought you were going to grade me like I just happened in the past weekend on Sunday.
You're going to get another C today. Okay.
I'm okay with that.
All right. So All right, that works out really good. Yeah, I do want to touch on how the scoring system kind of works a little bit for these competitions. And so today there's 3 chefs. All 3 of these fellas were in this competition in Hastings, Florida. And, I'm not a chef, right? But I've never been in a sort of a competition like that. And I'm sure there's like a lot of nerves. You're being critiqued by peers. And there's a whole lot that goes into it. And that is the focus where I want to go today. It's the pre getting into it. And we can touch obviously on the event itself, but I want to get into that. Like, what's in your head? How you feeling? Is it pre-fight? Like you get nerves, whatever. Anyway.
Lance is the professional.
Okay.
Jason and I, this is the first time we went into an ACF sanction event.
So you guys, a couple of newbies.
Yeah. We popped something on Sunday.
I'm surprised Lance even came on the show.
He's going to school us. That's why.
Kind of a
Lance. Why don't you chime in?
Well, wait a minute.
Of your background.
I looked at so it's funny because I was going to bring this up. I have Chef Lance's bio. And I'm like, halfway through, 45 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even do this anymore.
Superman, or is it Lance?
Accolade after accolade after accolade after accolade. Oh my goodness. All right. So without further ado, Chef Jason, Chef Lance, welcome to the show. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I wish I was there in the studio. You guys are making me hungry.
Oh, dude, there's a lot of great stuff here.
He saw pictures too.
Yeah?
Yeah, I sent food porn pictures to both of them. Lance goes, "What are you trying to make me go 5-hour drive?"
Yes. Yeah, we're doing. Man, that coffee cake is right.
Yeah,
by the way,
good coffee cake.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the brittle too, man. That's going to go on the plate. Yeah.
And wait till you try the ganache.
All right. So listen, I had nothing to do with the participation in this last event. Why don't you, Jeff? Go ahead, kick it off, baby.
Oh, so Hastings is this really small town. There's only about 1,300 people. I heard on Saturday they had over 2,000 people there. So they had lawnmower race. This town is like, it had one light in it, like a traffic light. I'm not kidding you. And what they did was, it was the Potato Cabbage Bacon Festival. And not many people know this, but at one point in time in the United States, this was the potato capital of the world in Hastings, Florida.
Yeah. I did not know that. That's fascinating.
Yeah. In fact, the building we were in was the Ford Motor Company building where they actually built Ford motor cars.
No kidding.
Yeah. And they're trying to revitalize that whole area. And it's beautiful. It's got a lot of bones to it, they're really nice. You're in Florida, but you're not in Florida. It's South Georgia. Let's put it that way. Yeah. But it was just a lot of fun to be up there. The night before they had an event. So they had one of the girls who actually is going to come on, by the way. She won the Dr. Zeus. She was one of the finalists in the Dr. Zeus Bake Off. She's been on Chopped Sweets, and another show. So I was talking to her, but they had some really good culinary talent that was around besides Art Smith, which was just great to see Art Smith and have the conversation with Art.
Definitely.
We started like sharp. We did like a 5-minute delay, each one of us, when we did the actual contest or the competition. What was really strange was this group is a category KG, which is a really very difficult one because you're no electric. At one point, we didn't have fire. So we didn't know how we're going to cook. We didn't know if we're going to have ovens. So the day of, we found out we had an oven. We had fire, so we were able to do that. We couldn't have battery operated on this, right?
Yeah, technically, it was no battery, no electricity.
Yeah, no fans, no air conditioning. No running water.
All right, but so how many people are in the competition?
Well, the garden hose had running water out back.
This is like this is like my upbringing and just drinking off the hose outside.
I think Chef Lance wore the same pair of gloves the whole competition. That's why he got a better medal than us. I didn't even see him change his gloves once. Wow.
I used the water hose.
Yeah. Okay.
The Chef Lance actually did it with one arm tied behind his back, the KG category.
That would have been great to do that, like a competition like that.
So it was 3 chefs all day?
Yeah, three of us. There was a lot of people actually watching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Talk about the event, guys. Come on.
We were told there was going to be like.
See, if I was there, I would have had notes. I would have had all this stuff.
No, well, we were told there was going to be like 15 people there, and there was more than that. I mean, half the national office was there.
Yeah.
One of the new membership directors was there. Kiwi from the office was there. Yep. So it was really cool to see all them there. But then there was the actual people that were there for they had a market. I think the whole block was blocked off, and Chef Amadeus, one of our friends, was there too.
Did you secretly hate each other? Right? I know you all know each other.
No, I mean, I went in with I'm okay with losing to Lance. I'm just being real here, but
because you were sending me texts.
If I lose to Jeffrey, I might be a little mad.
Yeah, he sent the same text.
Chef Jason was sending me like, "Hey, I'm going to beat your boy. I'm going to kick his."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It was a good thrashing. Let's put it that way. But it's fun because listen, if I'm 53 years old. And I've competed in different events, but no one can tell me now you've never competed with the ACF. Yeah, I did. It's nerve wracking because you have people that are your peers that have been in the culinary industry that are different. So you're graded differently. You walk in with 100. Everything you do from the time you walk in from the 100 to the time you get your medal is what happens. And it's that category is difficult because you don't have a heat lamp. You don't he used.
Are you going to go there?
Wait, hold on a second.
They might take my medal away.
No, you used an electric wok to use a Bain Marie to keep his mashed potatoes hot.
You said you weren't going to bring up the electric wok, Jeffrey.
Lance. All right, Lance. Okay, so clearly we're losing. I'm losing control of the show right here in the living room. All right, so Lance, when you show up, you look at these two guys and you say, "I'm going to kick their ass." Right? In your head, that's what you're thinking. Right?
He was already thinking that, but when they made
Lance
the
already won before he got there. I mean,
okay, Lance, walk me through it. What's your how are you preparing for this? Because for me, I think it's like a mental. It's very emotional, mental. Like you're getting prepared for a fight almost. Is that walk us through it? What's the feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I want to start off by saying that, the two guys there, Jason and Jeffrey, hats off to you guys for putting yourself out there. That's a huge step just to be able to say, hey, I want to go into this competition and I want to do it, because a lot of people stop at that point and they say, hey, I'm not going to do it because I'm scared of the outcome. I don't want to hear the critique. And so hats off to you guys. I truly enjoyed, competing with you two. And it was awesome. And so the more competitions you do, the more relaxed you are, but it's all about preparation. You got to be prepared. And so practice your routine no matter what the category is. And like Jeffrey said, it's kg, so you can't use batteries, you can't use electric, you can't, so you have to kind of look at your routine and say, hey, how can I change it up and accomplish a great product that the judges are going to taste? So
what is kg?
That's the category that they use, whatever the category is.
So it means sustainable, green, and local.
Okay. Right.
And, with sustainability comes, hey, you can't use the battery operating, all that kind of stuff. And, it definitely is more difficult than a normal competition. So even for these two gentlemen to go into a competition and then have these restrictions, that's not typical. Typically it'll say you're given 2 whole ducks and you have to make 4 plates, have at it. And, 1 pork loin with the chine bone removed, rib bones are still in it, and you have 4 portions. So it's very specific on a lot of the competitions. This one just kind of took a different direction as far as the being specific.
Experience the perfect blend of culinary delights, entertainment, and education on the #1 food podcast in the country, Walk and Talk Podcast. Join host Carl Fiadini and the amazing Chef Jeffrey Schlissel. Feed your appetite. Find this podcast on Apple and Spotify. So, KG, sustainable. They brought it back to 1870, right? There was campfire. All right,
literally butane fire.
Okay. And how this is something where you're all are competing individually or all at once? simultaneously, I should say?
There was a 5-minute. They didn't want here's the thing. One of the judges had to leave by a certain time, so they wanted us to start with a 20-minute interval. So one would go, and then 20 minutes later another one, so that when they would put the plates up, they would be able to taste and critique. They went to 5. So I started first, 5 minutes. Then Jason started 5 minutes after me, and then Lance was 5 minutes after Jason. We then laid down, obviously 5 minutes past each one. Then they critiqued us, and then they gave the awards out. I have to tell you that, Hari, who was the guest chef, he put this together. He wrote this because originally it was in DeLand, because he wants to showcase the American Culinary Federation and then the farmers. So he was trying to do that. Mm-hmm. Kudos for them to doing it. Now, I think it was like 2012. And I think
was the last one.
2014 was the last one. So this has not been done in that long. It's been about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So when they revamped it and kind of brought it from its wherever it was, they reached out to Jason and Lance, and then they reached out to me, and I'm like, yeah, no problem. I got to be like what Lance said. You got to practice. It was my 6th time doing that dish. I did it Friday night.
Lance, how many times did you do your dish?
0. No, I'm just kidding.
Smack him.
No, that was probably my 4th time making it.
Okay.
At the competition.
All right.
Jason,
this is first.
Yeah. Yeah. First time. Yeah. So I just talk about me for a quick second. I was a little unprepared, so I came in not quite prepared. Lance is like, "Where's this? Where's that?" I'm looking at him like, "Yeah, I don't have any of that." I got my press and seal wrap. I look over at Lance. He's got 3 brand new third pans lined up. Standard breading procedure. Your flour, your egg, your breadcrumb. I'm taking a piece of press and seal my wife gave me, trying to save a buck, and I'm dragging it out on the table and putting like a pile of flour.
I looked over.
I'm using styrofoam bowls in the green category. I got plastic spoons, so I definitely got some education in that category, especially.
All right, so so just so the audience understands, it wasn't that it was necessarily a competition between the 3 of you, like a first, second, third place. You're competing against yourself from gold, silver, bronze, or not even placing and getting like a 0 goose egg. So the reality is, all 3 of you, of course, Lance,
yes, he got the higher one.
Lanced you guys pretty good.
He got us. He silvered us.
He did. He totally silvered you all over. So what ended up happening here is you all placed though, which is really great.
Yeah.
I gave Jeff a very specific instruction: don't come home without a gold. You're out there. You walk and talk. All right, you're doing your thing. And
he was Mick.
And you dare.
He was Mickey from Rocky.
You're a bum. I was like, you came home with like this bronzy colored looking thing. I'm like, what the hell is this?
It really looks like a copper metal.
Yeah,
Let's be
like
real here.
Jason's wearing his, by the way.
I am wearing mine.
I walked
John,
in.
we got to take pictures of him with this.
I literally walked into the studio today, and he's like, "Where's your medal?" I'm like, "I'm not bringing my medal." He's like, why not?"
So speaking of medals, though, Lance, when you shared your photo proudly displaying, the placard they made for you at the cook-off, and then in the background, I see like 10,000 medals hanging. I see the copper looking, the bronze looking one, and then I see many of the shiny ones that we all want.
Are you throwing the bronze ones away now, Lance?
Yeah.
You just throw them in the trash?
That's what I said coming in the house.
No, he's melting them down, getting the money for them.
but I will tell you this, so I've competed probably 20 plus times, and I will say where I've learned the most from is my 3 bronze medals. And one of them was a wax competition. It was cold food preparation, where you actually have to, it's hot food, prepared hot and then presented cold. So you have to glaze it with aspic and all that. And so I hadn't done that since, when I graduated in CIA in 96. And so I said, I want to jump back into it. I want to do this. And so again, it's taking the fear out of it and saying, hey, whatever happens, happens. And, I learned a lot through that process. And I had Gerald Ford, Master Chef, come over to my table and critique it. And he said, I'm going to be brutally honest. And I was like, that's what I want you to be. I want you to be brutally honest, because that's the only way I'm going to learn. And then, another bronze medal was when I did Chef of the Year a couple of years ago. And I had a commis. We practiced probably for 2 months every single Monday. So a good 8 practices in us. And, when it came down to it, she froze and she got stage fright. And she said, Chef, I got to go. And I was like, right now? Yeah. She's like, yep, I got to go.
Wow.
And so I learned some things through that process. I still got a bronze, which is good. And, I learned some things and said, hey, what would I have done differently, and approached it in a different way. So, the 3 bronze they actually mean more to me than all the golds. Sorry.
Thanks, Lance. That makes me and Jeffrey feel better.
All the goals.
It's true, though.
I want to go on record. I was happy enough walking out of there with a medal.
Yeah, me too.
That just, you definitely, when you put yourself out there and you're doing what you do every day. And it's funny because the judges asked me, like, what was your theme? I'm like, I wanted to cook the food I wanted to eat, bottom line. And whether I got a medal or not, I knew walking away that's my food. Hats off to, by the way, Happy Tales, Vicky Webster. She reached out immediately when Chris put out there that he was looking for something. And we had a Kuni pig. Ironically enough, it was the one I actually fabricated. So that was cool. Then she got the bacon for us. And then the secret ingredient, you guys are going to love this one, sour oranges.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was perfect for mine because I had bourbon in mine with smoked maple syrup. And I just kind of...
Oh, man, it was so perfect for that bronze, man.
It was. It's going to give me poop.
You squeezed it over it didn't tarnish the bronze medal.
You didn't tarnish it. It's nice. Yeah.
Here's the other reason why I'm happy I placed. These 2 gentlemen are going to go for their Master Chef. Mm-hmm. And to be in that, competition, just competing, but competing with people that are going that way, that's huge.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This whole critique, being critiqued aspect, right? Mm-hmm. And then if you're competing, and like you've got Lance Cook and Chef Jason over here, I said it before, they're culinary studs, mm-hmm. And the reality is, each one of you, and Lance included, I'm assuming, but each one of you get the butterflies going into this.
Yeah.
Because
for sure,
right? I mean, it's you're.
There was no.
You're going to have your peers. It's not just because you have the judges, right? The judges are chefs, and then the 3 of you are judging each other in some aspect as well.
Oh, they were judging me way before the competition.
We judge you every week. You know what I mean?
I was texting Lance a couple weeks out. We're both ACF guys. This guy's got to fail. We're going to trip him, unplug his stuff, blow his burners out, whatever.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I'm not kidding.
But the funny thing is, I bought 2 brand new butane burners, and I pulled them out of the box, and one didn't turn on. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Right out the gates.
Right out the gate. I just took the torch, put the thing on, and they're like, oh, you got the big torch. I'm like, yeah. And it lit. So you got to be ready for anything when you're doing these competitions. There was no hand sanitizer.
Well, hey, let's talk about one topic too, and it shows, like I said, how little I know. Is that Lance? He has all his beautiful little pint containers with his perfect Brunoise shallot as he approaches, and Jeffrey's got like half the product in his cooler. He's already like picking out the prime pieces of.
You guys got the prime pieces.
So anyway, I'm a little upset about that. But anyway, going on, I'm over here like prepping all my meats. I'm peeling potatoes. I'm choppy, cutty. Like I'm actually cooking. These guys are just dumping containers into pots and pans.
Wow.
Wait.
No, and I get it.
Who was making the most noise when Chris was trying to explain what the ACF was?
You were pounding.
Right. I wasn't. No, you 2 were pounding your meat. I was pounding.
Everybody
cabbage.
was pounding.
Yeah, I was doing cabbage. So I was literally facing the judges because I thought we had to face the judges when you were doing it. So I had my braising pan in the back to braise the cabbage because once that was on, I didn't need to be in front of it. So I'm sitting there making a Brunoise potatoes. I'm mashing my potatoes for the extra. I'm going the extra mile because I didn't want to have food waste. And I went first. And
I was afraid to throw anything away.
Right.
Because of
sustainable.
Well, it was also the category. Exactly.
Right, sustainable.
Like when I said when Lance said you shouldn't have styrofoam bowls. I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm throwing them in the trash.
The best part of mine was we called Pactive after our first farmer's dinner, and they gave me a whole bunch of samples for compostable stuff. And that's exactly what I bought. And I even showed Kari. I'm like, look, it's compostable. I didn't want to get dinged for that.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call Chef Chris Tanner, and
you're gonna see him this week.
Hopefully he doesn't listen to this. But
he listens.
I'm gonna get with him. I'm gonna make sure you guys never hurt anyone again.
No, but let's be real. This is who they want. They want some new blood, right? We might be like in our 40s and 50s, but we're still new blood.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, here's the thing: you have to be judged, whether it be a guest in your restaurant, a fellow chef. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out where you are, and that's the only way that's going to push you and drive you to be better.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to compete against, especially these two guys, because these guys are upper echelon. When you're thinking about going, either you're out of your mind because you're going for a Master Chef, or you want to do it. There's 70 Master Chefs.
Yes, high 70s. Lance, you know the exact number on that? I think it's 78.
Yeah, it's between 71 and 74. Last I heard, it was 71.
And then how many master plumbers are there?
Like 250,000.
So, I mean, do you got to think about?
Hey, that's my line.
I know,
like
that's why I was
bringing
you.
that up.
That's
I
why I
yelled
did
that
it.
out at this show.
Yes,
I said,
you
let's
did.
be real, people. There's 250,000 master plumbers, but there's less than 100 CMCs, certified master chefs. It's a big deal. And it's not about ego. It really is about the humility aspect that I always bring up. A guy like Lance has gotten where he's at because he can admit that he's gotten the bronzes. He's had those, you get beat up and knocked down. There's the famous Rocky, you can only get beat up so many times. You got to get back up. But some people, I think, stop. I think some people aren't okay with that critique. They stop and they move away from it.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to stop.
Sometimes you just got to stop.
You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, but
But you got to stick with getting the punches, and you got to be human, and be humble in it.
what you have to always be forever the student.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's his tagline.
That's
right?
my cheesy
It
signature.
is.
It's not
another,
cheesy, bro. It's not cheesy
it's
at all.
another
It's truth.
It's
But this is in marriage and in work and in life. It's everything. Forever the student. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Gotta keep learning.
It was just another thing that we stole from him and used on the show.
Right.
Right. From Jason.
Yeah,
We're just
thanks.
taking all your material, buddy. Sorry.
That.
Yeah. Okay. So how do we, because I want to do some walk and talk, culinary competitions, sponsored culinary competitions.
Sure. As long as I'm not competing, I'm fine.
Just
no,
don't
you're-
invite Lance. Lance can't come to the first competition.
Well, then maybe Lance can judge.
Judge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I'm in the compete or judge, either one.
You don't get a medal for judging. Okay.
You get to eat though.
Right.
Yeah. You get the pampered food there.
Yeah. Well, no, but Lance is moving away. We should bring that up too. Congratulations to Lance with his newly appointed position. That's a big deal,
Yeah, and you got absolutely congratulations, and you got some ambassadorships, some new stuff going on too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got Chef Works that reached out to me to be an ambassador, Hexclad. I'm going to be on the Food Network on May 15th for one of the game shows, Supermarket Stakeout. So it was a cool experience, and I only did it, to see what it was all about and to see how it's produced. And it was intense. It was really intense. But yeah, I appreciate the congrats on the position. So I'm moving to North Carolina, and I'm going to be the director of culinary operations at Forsyth Country Club in Winston-Salem.
Nice.
That's awesome.
That's
Congratulations,
so
man.
cool. Yeah, absolutely.
So, Lance, now that you've competed with the ACF and you went on to a Food Network competition, and I know there's non-disclosure agreements and stuff like that, what can you tell us of the differences between the prep for those two different competitions?
Oh, yeah, completely different. So for ACF competitions, you get to know what the parameters are, and you get to practice it as much as you want. You can practice it 0 times, or you can practice it 100 times. When you're doing a Food Network challenge, there's so many variables. So the one that I did is the one where you're actually cooking in the parking lot. You got to walk up to the grocery store and buy somebody's cart and their groceries. I don't know how many people are coming out of that store. Yeah, I mean, you could get dog food.
You get the vegan card, right? You're like, oh, I got the vegan.
Or the gluten-free?
Oh.
Sorry, these are all from
very
the show.
We're just kidding.
competition. This is all from our competition.
I don't think you guys should be cutting off Chef Lance here. Okay, you shame on you.
Yeah, he got silver.
Well, yeah, which is a step
beat
up
us.
over bronze. I'm just putting it out there.
Remember, you have to still eat.
I do. It's true. But I'm getting bronzed kind of food, man.
There
Like
you go.
John, I realized I'm looking over at John, the producer. I'm realizing that we're getting C-level stuff here on the show. We need to be getting at least B and up. You know.
You got to pay.
Well,
people.
Lance,
Jeff,
can you tell us
you're
what was
out.
in
Lance, you're in.
what was in the cart, Lance? Can you tell us that?
Actually, I can't talk about any of it.
You can't tell us any, right?
Until no, just that I did it. I can start advertising that it's occurring, but that's about it.
Didn't you compete against somebody we might know?
Yes. Chef Rodriguez. He's in Tampa, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Jonathan
And,
Rodriguez.
our
Yeah,
boy. Yep.
Great guy.
Yep.
Great.
He's actually gonna be on next week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's gonna come.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right. Well, we have to discuss.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it was last minute. It was actually.
No, someone's going to New Hampshire next week on the 9th. So we might want to do it the day earlier.
New Hampshire.
Yeah. Wicked.
Well, tell that guy, you should be making plans like that.
Oh, he's actually going to be coming down, and he'll be coming on the show, the one that you don't think exists.
He doesn't.
My imaginary friend.
It is your imaginary friend.
Keith Saracen.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the fact that he liked and it was, it's not like it was a post where it's there forever. No, it was a stories, right, on Instagram. And then it just disappears like it never happened. That's why I took a screenshot.
Yeah, but you know why he did that, though? Who was the story about?
I don't remember right now.
Robert Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yep. Yes.
Oh, by the way, a big shout out to Robert Gonzalez. He actually made it to the semifinal. Actually, he's going to the finals for the spring championship. So congrats to him.
100% congrats to him.
To him, Nikki, and Steven.
Yeah.
So congrats to all three of them. Can't believe Alex got bumped, but that's the way things go.
It does. It's the way the
cake crumbles.
The brittle.
The cookie.
The brittle.
The brittle. Oh, the brittle. He went the brittle.
Nice. That was pretty sharp.
that?
Yeah.
The brittle breaks.
The brittle breaks. Oh, that could be the new Brittle Break Cafe. You could open a new restaurant.
There we go. He's got a new restaurant going right there.
Just like that. Wow. Can we do it out of the house here?
Yeah.
Okay.
17 different flavors of brittle.
Listen, I feel like that would work. I would go there. I would totally go there.
Especially the honeycomb.
I would eat it. You understand? I eat it anyway. Yeah. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lance, on your new role, what's the difference between what you're doing now at the current club, by the way, which is a gorgeous club, to the one that you're moving to?
Yeah, I think the big difference is just the membership's a little bit bigger. So 975 members instead of 775 here. And then just the longevity. The club has been around since 1913, has a ton of history, and but about the same as far as volume and staff and stuff like that.
Are you still going to be on the line cooking because you took a different role, correct? Or is it still cooking?
It's still cooking. So, yes, the role is director of culinary operations. But it's still going to be very hands-on. I'll be doing demos just like I normally do and doing, expediting and stuff like that. So very similar.
When you meet the team over there, your kitchen staff, do you bring like a wall display of all the medals and whatnot so they know who they're talking, like they know you, like they know what they're dealing with?
Not at all.
They already know
them.
them.
Stays at the house.
Lance has 2 LinkedIn profiles just for all of his certifications after his name. He's got the first one, and the second one just continues on it. So
They ran out of space.
Wait, I got friends that think I've done some stuff with my career, and then I look at Lance, I'm like, I haven't done anything,
Did you see how many, like, the little 3-letter words after the 3 letters?
I was
he has to put on 2 chef codes.
I was going to like, usually I read off all that stuff, but I was like, man, there's no,
You have to Google them. There's so many.
there's no stop point. You know what I mean? It's like,
It's the whole alphabet. It's A through Z on Lance's code.
half of
There's only
the,
9 certifications.
it's the,
9 certifications.
9.
the entire opening monologue would just be me rattling off what your certs are. Come on, man.
And if, God forbid, you get one of them wrong.
Oh, I
my
know.
God. He's a CEC A8. No, I'm not A8. No, I'm not that one.
You're going to have to delete
this
Not
one.
yet.
delete the episode. Yeah.
We love you, Lance. We got to make fun of you.
Lance,
Right.
you did
Secretly hate
mention you did mention wax. Can you go over for some of the listeners that don't know what wax is? Because I don't think Carl knows.
Yeah, when you are a member of the ACF, the American Culinary Federation, you are actually automatically a member of WAX, which is World Association of Chef Society or Cook Society, however you want to look at it. And it's a internationally known organization. And so when you're getting a certification with ACF, like it's recognized nationally, within the states and all that kind of stuff. But when you're getting a certification with WAX, it's actually international. So I am a world certified master chef. And at the time when I did it, there was probably about 200 in the world. There's more now. But that's recognized if I go over to Europe, if I go on a cruise ship and stuff like that.
That's incredible.
And that's who I competed against with Jason. Yeah.
What do you mean with Jason? It's
you
like
and I.
that and then with Jason.
Yeah.
Well,
The reality, Jeff.
world master chef.
Jefferson.
I got a CDM, that's certified dietary manager. I got that cert. I don't put that on my coat anymore, but
You should. That's a big thing.
no, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
But, Jeff, you compete against yourself, man.
All the time.
And that's really, and that's your bar.
Damn right it is. It's low.
It isn't these other guys with all these different, certifications and gold medals and, any of that stuff.
No, my
It's you,
certification is
man.
MICKEY.
That's right. That's right. My goodness. Oh, my God. Oh, all right. So,
Well, once again, Jeffrey is a member
Here's
of a
what's-
cartel. I did bring that up. I'm not a member of a cartel.
that's true, too. But here's what stings. I mean, it's all great news, Lance, what you got going on. Like, everything is fantastic. But I'll tell you what really stings. You're moving away, and you're not going to get a vacation for a while. And I was thinking like, oh man, let's get Lance in here. So ultimately, when chefs come to the studio, it's tradition now that they cook a dish. John, he does his amazing food photography, and we do the whole, roll out the whole red carpet here. And we're gonna have to figure out how to get you here, man. I don't know how it's gonna happen. Attention chefs and food buyers. Are you looking to improve your proteins program with quality and service by the best in the beef business? Reach out to Peninsula Food Service. With 25 butchers on staff, their services will dazzle you and impress your dining guests. Peninsula is the largest Creekstone farm distributor in the Southeast United States. Let the gang at Peninsula Food Service cut your beef burdens away and ask about their dry-aged program. Look them up at peninsulafood.com.
Yeah, I'm completely down with that. So we'll have to work it in for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but why don't you pick a date now while we're on air? No, I'm kidding. Just making it sound.
January 12th.
Perfect. It's in. All right, you're locked.
Replicate the dish.
Their season in North Carolina is a little bit different here. So, they slow down in the winter because their grass goes dormant, obviously, and their play, drops down a little bit. So, yeah, my season for slow time is probably going to be January, February, and March.
Well, that's actually perfect. And I'm not kidding either. If later we should, try to, at least ballpark a date and let's make that happen.
Hopefully we'll have the studio by then.
Great.
Yeah. 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 We're looking at doing yes, an actual complete production studio where we're going to have like a chef's kitchen. John is going to have a giant photography playroom, the podcast room. Plus it'll be like an Airbnb sort of for chefs. It's just obviously you don't pay anything. You just come and we do what we got to do. And then you're off. It's like,
I'm in.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And Carl eats.
And I eat.
And Carl eats.
I'm building. You got to understand, like this whole food media thing. That it's just so I can eat.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think it's exactly what it is.
It's it.
Yeah.
I found a way. I found a way to get the goods. Okay. I found a way.
We're laughing at John. Oops.
Okay.
He didn't have canned ravioli.
No. He's like, screw,
ravioli?
screw you guys. I'm out of here. Yeah,
Jason, do you want to go over the canned ravioli?
So just initially when we were discussing this competition and we were talking about what products could be used in the competition, and they all had to be, it was Florida, correct?
Yeah.
Florida.
Well, yeah. So initially there was talk, it can only be 100 miles from where we were.
100 miles, yeah. So I was being sarcastic and saying, so if I want to bring canned ravioli, that's okay. And they said, well, don't you dare bring canned ravioli.
No, it can only be from Wiggly or something.
He said Winn-Dixie, actually.
Winn-Dixie, yeah, that's what it was.
I think he meant that. So,
yeah, but what really happened was it was only the 5 major or 6 ingredients.
Yeah, the
and then we
mains.
can have other ancillary items wherever.
Yeah. I mean, that Happy Tails pork was beautiful. So we had the pork, the bacon, we had the green cabbage was beautiful. And what was the one I'm missing? The Chinese broccoli.
Yeah, that was the only thing that they didn't have extras of. And thank God I brought extras because he wouldn't have had any.
Yeah, so I'm like looking for this product, and Jeffrey had it in his cooler once again. And I was like, how is it that he's in the competition and he's holding the product? I'm like, this is a scam. If he beats me, it's all crooked.
No, and I didn't. What's funny is like we had this beautiful 10-bone French rack that I denuded for the loin chops. And I'm like, here, this is only 10. And then I've got 4 extra that she had given me so we can have at least 4 portions. Lance and Jason took the whole out the door. I'm like, oh, that was great, guys.
Yeah, but yours look prime and they were vacuum sealed. They were like sous vide already. Like he already has all this stuff ready to go.
He had prepared everything ahead of time.
I'm peeling potatoes and, you know.
I peeled my potatoes.
By the way, everybody, Chef Lance Cook, when you're at his status, he doesn't even have to say goodbye. He just goes.
He just cuts out.
No, we had a technical thing, and he actually had to jump anyhow. So we appreciate that he was on the show.
He's a busy man. Canned ravioli.
Canned ravioli.
Did he tell you that? Explain that.
So we already knew setting this up that Lance had to go during a certain point in time. So we asked him to do the secret code word, and we had a whole bunch.
Safe word.
So it was press and seal. It was this. It was that. So we decided on canned ravioli.
So he was supposed randomly when he had to actually leave, he was going to say, "Hey guys, canned ravioli," and then we know that it was time.
Hey, so while Lance is off, let me just talk about him real quick. So when we went to the CMC exam, I be honest, I'm just saying this, I'm very real. I wasn't exactly intimidated by anybody else at the exam, and I'm not knocking anybody there because I really didn't know anybody there other than the great Lance Cook. So here I am coming into CMC, I'm looking at him, and anyway, throughout the experience, I got to know him. A really great guy. I mean, like he's very humble, no ego, very great guy. And so it was good to get to know him. And that, I think that's half of it. You're talking about the nerves aspect. And when you're coming in, sometimes it's not even about the environment or what are we doing or what are we cooking or what's the competition. It's literally the peer aspect, like you were mentioning. Where how do we look at individuals? How do people look at us? And I think we spend too much time on this in our life sometimes, worrying about what people think about us or what we think about other people. And it really is a competition within ourselves. And that's really the best way to look at it.
Yeah, right after we got done, he was making some comments, and I saw this thing with Gordon Ramsay, and it was 3 things that when you're a chef, you should do. One of them was take it professionally.
Yeah.
What he meant by that is get judged by your peers, and whatever they say to you, don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Take it professionally.
Yes.
Yeah.
The second thing you do, have thick skin.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary you have to have thick skin. Like I said at the beginning of this, when you compete, you're putting yourself out there to get whatever's being said to you. And I have a friend of mine, Cleveland Brown, who is a manager for Culinary Gang, taught me at a very young age. He said, when people ask you something or when you get advice from someone where you're not asking for it, you have the right to say whatever you want. But if you say, hey, how is this? Whatever is said to you, you have to accept. And that's key to it. You have to accept whatever's said to you, and you have to grow from it. So that's why this food today is going to be killer.
This is a redemption food?
Yeah.
I'm going to be the judge of that.
It's gold medal. That beef tongue is gold.
Is it gold medal?
We should have got a gold medal.
Speaking of gold medal, today, this very day, we're receiving a delivery. Big time packages. Metro, baby.
Well, there's one in my car.
Yeah, you got that, but the other stuff.
See,
is
he's
coming
got
on
it
truck.
again. Just like the competition. He already had it.
He always does this. I don't understand.
He sneaks it in.
I got to literally get a phone call yesterday. Were you expecting a pallet? I'm like, I was expecting a phone call.
Yeah, they called me, and I thought it was a scam call. It looked like, so I just kept putting it to voicemail, and they kept calling, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like, hello, And it was the
Southeast Freight.
Yeah.
Metro's great. Everything they make's great.
They're fan. Honestly, what an awesome bunch of people.
Yeah.
And so we have. What did you get, Jeff?
I got the chef cart, mobile cart. It is. I call it the mobile chef toy because this thing has everything. It's a prep station on wheels. Then on top of that, so remember how I brought those extenders for the legs of the table? This thing actually adjusts.
Wow.
Up and down. It has a cutting board built in, and then you can put 3rd pans and 9th pans and 6th pans on the actual.
You're bringing that out now. I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
Where's it at? Let's get this show over.
It's in the trunk of the car. I mean,
right.
It's on wheels, and you can. We saw this at the World Food Competition, and I got giddy. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I was like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, this is," and I'm like, oh. Then they had a competition where I think it was John McFadden and the Food Ninja dude they were doing like a cutting competition who can cut faster, and they were just like, whoop, right? I'm like, I want one.
I mean, they got to be like $1,000, right? They're not cheap.
Yeah. So again, Metro.
Yeah.
Amazing shelving. We're doing some work together. Between Metro and Walk and Talk. and we're ecstatic. And so John and I, we chose shelving, actual racks. John has all his tableware and all the things that he uses for his photography. I have all this equipment and whatever for the video and podcasts and all the audio. So we're going to be using Metro for that. But now, I look at it, and along with what Jeff, what Jeff is going to bring in here shortly. This is all wonderful in the world of content creation. It's more tools to create awesome content. Yeah. Especially for amazing companies like Metro. And I just wanted to throw that out there because, I'm excited. I can't wait for this thing to get here.
I mean, for me, what I was amazed about Metro, I always thought Metro shelving. Yeah. Storage. That's it. That's what I want. But they go one step above. They do productivity.
So much more.
And they do that competition that they go in and people compete to get them to come in to do the entire productivity. So they can actually make you faster. And that's why when I was like, does that thing go up and down, like adjust for people's height? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, whoever thought of that, thank you. Yeah. So they're really going the extra mile for the chefs of the world to make it easier for us
backs.
to work up. Yeah. So just so everyone knows, we had an 8-foot table, 2 of them, one behind us, one in front of us. Poor Lance, he's 6'3".
He's 10 foot tall.
He has to be to hold all those medals.
Right. Yeah, that's why he's that tall.
So I'm probably a little bit shorter than you, maybe the same size as you as far as height wise. And I'm like going with my legs spread out so I can go. And I had these PVC pipes.
Extenders.
I didn't use them because I didn't want an unfair advantage. I only had 8.
You already had all the food ahead of time. Yes. What more advantage did you need?
I didn't touch the food.
I mean, if part of the category should be, does he have table extenders, when they're judging? You probably would have gotten to silver if they saw those PVC pipe painted, like he painstakingly made these things, because he does so much of this. Table extenders.
Honest to God, when I'd go out, I'd have my tables, flip them up, and then I would put these things on instead of being.
And you had 2 sets. I was even more impressed that he brought 2. And you're like, you want to give some to Lance? And I was like, no. It's like, no, don't help him.
He's already the favorite.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this category where we didn't even have the running water, so that's a huge problem.
Lance reminds me. Hold on a second. I totally did what I said not to do.
Lance reminds you.
He reminds me of John McFadden. They're very similar.
Machine, a
machine, like as far as like chef attributes, man. Like they're just focused and they just run through it. Yeah, get it done.
We had it's funny. We actually had a talk like what we were doing, how our dish was to the audience, and then we had a talk once we served. We had to talk to the judges, obviously, and. The banter that was going on, like I would look over and they as soon as I got done, I kind of went out of the way and then went over, looked at Jason. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to tease him yet. I'll wait until he's done. And then one part, Hari moved Jason and I out of the way because Lance was using the only oven we had.
Yeah. When I was in Lance's way and I was trying to clean up and like get out of there and Lance is still plating. I was being a little rude. Then I realized, so I should step away. So not in his way completely, but he had to come down the alley to get to the.
He was thinking about tripping him.
Yeah,
I was.
You were like,
that's why I was cleaning up.
You were the 80s teen villain that would pop their collar on their polo shirt.
For real.
Yeah, I get it.
By the way, Lance also had the shortest drive home.
No, we got to bring up the glass bricks, though, because that was a topic. Remember, Lance brought the classic, 1980s bathroom square glass brick things at all of our...
Yeah, remember Miami Vice? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He had a whole set.
I don't know.
So anyway, he had his plates built up on it. So when you look in photos, it was his display, and that's how he kept them. He had a stern under there, right? Yep. That was an old school trick he was doing, keeping them warm. And,
not for nothing, but there's a reason why the guys,
silver.
Yeah.
Well,
the funniest thing is when you kept on asking me, did you tell Carl? Did you tell Carl? Did you tell Carl?
I'm like, you got bronze?
Yeah, no. I'm like, no.
No, because I was like, let's pretend that you got gold or lie to him or something. Or
I mean, I kept asking.
Yeah, he did.
And there was nothing.
How's it going out there? And I'm like, I'm driving home. I don't want to do that. I have the longest drive.
Wait, I don't know if I was going to bring this up. So you get a little, whatever, down on yourself, right? If you don't get, I literally thought I was going to get silver. It shows how much I know. You get the bronze, and I'm standing next to Lance. I'm like, like, yeah, I got silver, and Lance is gold, right? It really shows how much I know about how it's the rubrics and everything. Anyway, and they say, Jason Lynn, bronze. And I'm like, I was like, I thought I had the silver. So literally leaving, I'm a little depressed, and I hit the Burger King drive-thru in Hastings. And Hastings is beautiful, but the BK was a little rough. Some are nicer than others.
That makes you feel better. I've been there.
So anyway, I got the Whopper. They got that weird mayo cream. It's supposed to be mayo, but it's like watery, and the tomatoes are like white. And anyway, I'm wearing my medal in the drive-thru. I'm not making this up. The same medal I'm wearing now. I'm pulling through the drive-thru, and the woman's like, "What's up with that medal?" And I was like, "Oh, I got bronze at this cook-off." Blah blah blah. And I just felt really pathetic in that moment because I'm at the BK drive-thru. I'm getting the Whopper, add cheese.
Versus right now, because you haven't taken the medal off since the event.
So anyway, like I said, BK drive-thru, wearing my medal, feeling crappy, eating the Whopper, feeling even worse. Like when I was done, I was just like, oh, now I'm taking the medal off. So.
Walk and Talk podcast, now sweetened by Noble Citrus. Bite into a juicy crunch tangerine, 40 years perfected, seedless and oh so tasty. Or savor a starburst pomelo, the giant citrus with a unique zing. Don't miss autumn honey tangerines, big and easy to peel. Noble. Generations of citrus expertise, delivering exceptional flavor year-round. Taste the difference with Noble Citrus. I don't know what to say because if I would have been happy at the BK. I would have eaten the BK and be like, you know what, man, I feel pretty good.
We didn't eat. It was. By the time we left, it was 3:30, 3:45 almost.
Yeah, we got there. I got there like 9. And
what you should have did is with the Whopper, you always get the order of chicken fries.
Yeah, my wife gets those.
They're good.
Yeah. It's just all that blended process. You never know what it is. Aren't they putting bugs in that stuff now?
Probably. Yeah,
Isn't that what Tyson's doing? They're grinding up cockroaches like Soylent Green? Or
no, I just saw a thing like that with Ramsey. I don't know if that's true or not. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing you don't know. I saw that same plug where Ramsey's backing out. No more Tyson love because they're putting insects in. You don't know if that's real or not.
I wasn't actually going to bring that up on the podcast. I was going to, but I couldn't find any actual, so I wasn't going to bring it up. But you did.
It makes you wonder.
Listen, last year at the ACF National Convention, I actually had to make, I forgot his name now, the chef that was doing it. He was presenting bugs. So I turn around.
Yeah, and we know we can eat these things, chocolate-covered grasshoppers. Like, this stuff's been around for a long time.
I had to grind the kick.
But if companies are maybe milling and grinding and sneaking this in products, a whole different thing.
Yes. How about the FDA and USDA allow a certain amount of bugs inside the food?
Yeah.
Legally.
Well, that's always been like that.
Cockroach falls
but most
in
people
here
don't.
And there.
Right. Most people don't know that. And
No, right.
That's like with Snowpiercer. Here's my sci-fi nerd. That movie Snowpiercer. They're all eating cockroaches. They just keep grinding them up, and they make those black bricks. They look like my Android cell phone, and they're all just eating these black Jello bricks. So that could be an option too. The black Jello brick at BK.
Right.
The veggie brick.
So next week, is that what we're doing?
No.
Black veggie brick. I'm going to make that.
I don't subscribe to any of this, and yes. I want what I want, and I want what I want.
It's funny. At one point, we had got done. We were cleaning up. We all had turned in our stuff. Lance looks at me. He goes, "How do you feel?" I go, "Bronzy."
That's right. He did say that.
My intestines are a little bronzy right now.
He goes, "How do you know?" I go, "I just know." And it was just one of those things. It is what it is. And
Jeff, I'm proud of you, man.
Yeah.
you got to put yourself out there. You got to figure out. Yeah.
I'm saying you weren't wearing any walk and talk gear when you only got the bronze, though. Right?
Yes, I did.
But just while we're talking about that kind of just that general topic real quick, you said, Jeff, I'm proud of you. There's one thing too, you have to think about what Jeff does every week. What you guys do every week is you legitimately put it out there. You produce this product. I'm watching, I'm looking into the kitchen right now. I'm seeing the me's. I'm seeing it get ready to put together. There are so many chefs that act like they have this clout or they think they're the greatest thing, and they can't throw down or they can't do it or they can't produce it, or week after week they can't go out there. And that's what you guys do. That's what Chef Jeffrey does.
Let me just say something.
Week after week.
Week after week. So here's what Jeff impresses me so much when it comes to the creativity. Mm-hmm. His execution sucks. No, I'm kidding. The creativity, like he comes up with these ideas real fast, and then he executes, and then you're like, wow, I don't even know how you
Well, he probably gets a little bit out there too. Now, there's a certain big agency.
He's definitely out there.
There's a chef's group that's in America. I'm not going to say their name. That's kind of against sometimes too out there. If you get too mash up or a little too crazy.
It's true.
A little fusion, confusion.
Yeah, he's speaking the truth.
I've been told fusion, confusion many times, and there are times that I'm an idiot. Why did I pair those things? This is horrible. But I think we have to keep pushing those boundaries. I think as chefs.
Right. So I'm just saying. I think we're real blessed to have Jeff on the show and in the capacity and what we're doing, because
Definitely.
he just comes through with amazing stuff.
Yeah. No wonder he's got bags under his eyes and he's always talking about mental health and stress, because every week he's got to make you happy and come up with a new dish.
You got to feed me.
Well, how about
this is worse than any ACF lab coat critiquing chef.
How about the guy to my right of me? Last night or the night before, 2 nights ago.
Let's talk about John.
Right?
John.
Can we do a dessert? Sure, we can do a dessert.
Yeah, whenever if I call Jeff during the day, I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? Hey, man. I'm like, okay, what's up? He's, just doing prep. I'm doing prep. I'm at the store because I'm going to do prep. And I'm like, okay.
Well, see, Jeffrey's really the only one that works out of you three. It's just like we're at a private club setting. You're the general manager, Carl. You're the activities director, John. And you're the executive chef, Jeffrey, doing all the work. No, I'm not kidding, but really.
Jason can come back anytime.
I'm just kidding.
Of course. Well, listen. There's really no truth. It makes sense, but there's no truth.
Carl opens his opening line, right? He writes that. What do you say? Opens the laptop. What else?
What Daddy does, it puts it all together.
Yeah.
And then obviously,
Did you just call yourself Daddy?
I did. So
we just lost everyone.
No, everybody loves that. Listen. So, but hold on. I was just going to be complimentary.
No, Daddy.
I was going to be complimentary to it, because the reality is none of this works.
Yeah.
Unless these guys. Because I can't do what they do.
No.
You can't do. Well, you can kind of do what he does. But
some, yeah.
He can definitely do
I can't cook any Jewish food, though. So.
Well, you can.
It's like Manischewitz.
That's what I love when he brings in his.
That's it.
He brings in his heritage and nationality, which is cool, because I'm not going to be. You don't really see a lot of Jewish restaurants, right? Like, hey, did you see that new Jewish place that opened? You don't really hear that a lot.
Not a lot of delis here anymore either.
Well, people in Florida don't want real delis.
No.
People in Florida think Publix is a deli. And I love Publix. They're great and all. But I am from up north, and this is a hot topic for me, because I owned a Frank's Deli and Cafe in Port St. Lucie. And I wanted to give them mortadella, liverwurst, like all this stuff, and their brains were going to explode because South Florida wants ham, turkey, roast beef. They're Publix trained. Oh, maybe I'll get the Italian today. Let's go the buffalo chicken deal. Wow, we're really going to spice it up.
I like the buffalo chicken.
Florida doesn't even know what a deli is.
No, it's true.
Did Publix hurt you, huh?
Yeah, I don't like Publix cakes stink too.
I'm holding
Publix.com. Publix.
Hold on.
People are listening to me.
I'm holding up this doll. Just point where Publix.
Okay. Where Publix hurt.
It's the Northern Yankee in me. I moved down here. People are like, Publix, it's the greatest place. They got cakes and hoagies and boo boo boo. I'm like, no, that's not.
You remember that place back when then it's called Josie's on 46th Avenue and Hollywood Boulevard?
Yeah.
That was a deli.
Yeah.
You walk in and there was Johnny and Joey right there with his son, and they were slicing the meats. And they want chicken parm. You got veal parm. You want the gravy.
Yeah. If there's not piles of cutlets breaded in some sort, it's not really a deli.
No.
Yeah. Oh well, whatever. Okay. Kiss the. Oh yeah, kiss the. I don't think it would have ever happened, John. John says. Hey, Kiss the Public sponsorship. Goodbye.
Well, I'm not a part of Walk and Talk. I'm speaking on behalf of Chef Jason Lynn, CDC, CDM.
Jason F. and Lynn over here.
the pub. No, Publix, you have your points too, though. So,
my goodness. I just want to say that we love Publix.
No, Publix is. I secretly hate Publix because they are so their shelves are so fronted, and that's the biggest thing I would say to young organizing people: make it look like Publix. Yeah. Make it look like Publix.
Yeah, I mean, you're more of a Dollar General shop.
Yeah, Winn Dixie, some Bravo,
Yeah.
When you're looking at your storeroom, as a chef, when you're looking at your inventory, wherever it is, you always want to have it where everything's front and center. The labels are front and center. When you go home, you want everything front and center, and your family's like, "Why are you so anal about this?" Because it's like, "Well, I know exactly where it is."
Yeah.
And they're like, "It's just as ridiculous. This is too military."
It's hard to turn off sometimes.
You can't.
And that's what's
We can tell that you were a Publix stock boy when you were growing up.
I worked at Publix when I was 14.
Yeah, the difference. I worked at Winn-Dixie, right? So you can see the differences here. we don't care.
Well, I actually worked at 164, which is the old Bennigan's Sheridan Street, the original one. Daniel Pole. Funny story. I actually lifted up with another Publix worker. We had to lift up a car because the jack didn't go. It was a Datsun 210, and there was a flat tire. We had to change it. We had to lift up the car while somebody else put the tire on. And yeah, that was my old. I never got tipped because you couldn't tip.
The hell are you talking?
I like to try to tip the bagger, the car people, like during the holidays, and they take. But you can test them because once in a while they'll take it.
At Winn-Dixie, it was like take it whatever. Yeah, you would be like, hey, like you put your hand out, like hey, where's this?
Well, I used to love Winn. It was the beef people back in the day. Winn-Dixie was the bomb, and now what? Aldi, right? Bought Winn-Dixie.
Winn-Dixie is still all AP grocers.
Yeah, but no,
Well, it was
Aldi bought a
Southeast
bunch.
Groceries, but then Aldi I thought
did they?
bought them.
Yeah, I don't know if they bought them all, but they bought a bunch load of them.
Yeah. Some they're going to convert to Aldi's, and some they're going to keep Winn-Dixie.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's
I always feel rich when I'm in Winn-Dixie, though. Like when I walk around Winn-Dixie, I always feel like I can buy all of this.
I'm glad this is at the end. I don't know if it is.
Look at that Natty Ice on sale, $1.99.
Wow. And you got all your... Nah, I'm not going to say it. All right, so, John,
Don't forget, you got to have your Winn-Dixie card. That's how you get the deals. If you don't have the card, they charge you like the normal price.
I know. Well, it's the same at the CVS or whatever.
Yeah,
Walgreens.
they're working us.
Yeah, I'm looking. Look at good price. Wow, do you have your number? Now I got to put my wife's number in there. She gets all the points.
What was the one that just Bed Bath & Beyond was like that? Remember if you had the coupon and then they put the expiration date on it?
I used to pick them up like on the sidewalk walking in.
Those bastards. All right. Jeff, Jason, John, you guys are awesome. Lance, if you make it this far or if you listen to this at all, thanks for being on the show.
Canned ravioli.
Canned ravioli. Lance had to dip out.
AJ, Brianna over at Metro, you all are awesome.
Tina
Tina Davis, and chefs. Peninsula Food Service. Don't forget about it. Central Florida.
Also, huge shout out to Tina Atkins, Larry, and Amy Yee for coming out to support Jason and I from Sweetwater and
that's
Yee
right,
Family
they
Farms.
went, huh?
They went up there, yeah.
I love them.
They actually changed their dates to watch Jason and I compete.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I was looking for Jeffrey's entourage. That was some of it, but
All right, listen, we got to roll. We are out. Let me tell you about my friends over at Citrus America and their amazing juicing equipment. They're revolutionizing the way you enjoy freshly squeezed juice. They're at the best hotels, restaurants, and markets. Their mission is simple. Develop a unique consumer experience with on-premise juicing, deliver healthy taste options to clientele, and juice more faster. It's that easy. Citrus America supplies the highest quality juicing equipment and solutions in the industry. So whether you're a small business owner or a large corporation, Citrus America has the right juicing equipment for you. Find out more at citrusamerica.com.